this beautiful face and the voice behind this amazing microphone, you know that you have some lessons coming your way. Ladies and gentlemen, dear televiewers, this is Matters, and of course, Matters pops up on your screens every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, where we get to delve into political issues. But unlike what most of you may be thinking today we are going to be beating the odds. We are going to be looking at something quite emotional. We are going to be discussing love. We are going to be discussing family life, and most importantly, marriage in the life of a woman, in the life of a successful woman, to be more deliberate and to be more specific. This is something that society has had contrary views on. While a lot of people think that a marriage is, a legal bond between a man and a woman coming together to fulfill purpose, other people think that the great bulk of the work is laid on the shoulders of the woman, and the woman needs to struggle in order to ensure that that marriage is workable. Yes, in an African society, in an African setting, that happens quite a lot, where the woman bears the brunt of everything that is happening and try to make sure that she is the apt player and making sure that everything is working for the home. She has the driver's seat. But then, when the woman becomes a successful woman, even more successful than the husband, or in most cases, when the woman is just successful, measuring up to the husband in terms of holdings, in terms of wealth, then it becomes a little bit problematic, because a lot of times the marriage tends to crash. Now, people keep asking, there is a school of thought which thinks that this happens because the woman has little or no time for that marriage, pushing it, because naturally the woman is supposed to be that wind, that driving force in the marriage, while other school of thought thinks that the woman try to lord over the man and trying to take control of things. What do you think? I think that is the rhetorical question that we are going to be asking today, or the million-dollar question that we are going to be asking today. In your own opinion, what makes you think successful women do not or struggle to make sure that their marriages are succeeding? Don't ask me, because I don't know. And that is why I came alongside beautiful brains. They have brains like that of a dolphin, so that we are going to expound on this topic together. We are going to be teaching you. And at this point in time, let me meet Harris in the studio, somewhere in the background at the level of the techniques, so that he gives us a musical interlude. And when we come back, guess what? We know that you must have amassed your pens, didactic materials, so that we get this beautiful train moving. Don't go anywhere. I remain your host, Mabel Katz. Dear viewers, and I hope that so far you've been enjoying your time on Matters today. Of course, Matters always comes knocking on your screens every 6 p.m. extensively, 2 hours, where we are going to be having some thought-provoking discussions and some insightful discussions. And the way to go, the way to be a part of this discussion. I hear so many people meet me on the way and they're asking me, Bill, I love this topic, but I did not know how to throw my little cent. Of course, it's very easy. All you need to do is, first of all, not to call on the program, and secondly, even if you must call, if you must, the days I open the windows of the program, so that's giving you the privilege to call. If you must call, make sure that your receiver is turned down, which means do not struggle to hear yourself and hear you talk from the TV. Bring down the volume of your receiver and you get to talk. Or you reach us through SMS and WhatsApp on the number that you find on your television screen. Having said that, I think it's time for me to introduce the heavyweights that I came with on the studio. She is a PhD fellow and she is a seasoned counselor. I met her even before I met her. And how did I meet her? I actually met her through my mom, my foster mother, who spoke very highly of her And she said she is very bold and her audacity is something to reckon with. And she's here on the podium, and we are going to be savoring a lot from her beautiful brains. No other person than Madame Etherine Ichan. You're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
That was quite an introduction.
Yeah, it was. Thank you very much for having me on set.
Thank you. I mean, the last time we were supposed to come on set, one casualty leading to the other, and I was keeping my fingers crossed, hoping that you show up today. And here you are. Thank you so much for doing this, not just for High TV, but humanity and the fans of matters.
You're very much welcome, and I'm very privileged to be part of this discussion this evening.
So, do you think that this is something that is worthy of attention, or it's something that it has been trumpeted, over talked about, and we should just let it rest? Because no matter how we get to talk on it, our own little voices are going to add or subtract to nothing. Are you of that opinion?
I actually think that it is something that we need to talk about. Marriage, when they say marriage, successful marriage, when we talk about it, it's just little puzzles that we put together to make it very successful, and then so we cannot minimize anything that can cause this marriage to break. So I think it's very, very important that we talk about this evening. And I hope that is going to heal many homes.
Thank you so much. I think that is the prime reason for matters every episode, especially one like this, to heal homes, heal hearts, and bring people away, transport them away from that bad atmosphere, bad temperature that they seem to be finding themselves in. Miss Etherine came with somebody who is, of course, a household name, and she needs no formal introduction. She is the therapist. She has won this level for as long as you can even imagine, because of the work she's done and the impact that she's been able to induce in society. No other person than Mommy Senior Mrs. Etonge Mabel, the therapist. You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here once more for us to talk on this very pertinent topic. And like Councillor Ijam said, I hope that this discussion today is going to heal so many marriages. We're a group of councillors, and our main objective is to build a resilient society. And so if we can build resilient marriages that will be able to bounce back after such issues of maybe the woman striving or becoming more successful, and then it's having issues at home. If we can be able to handle this and the couples be able to bounce back, then we're going to have a more resilient society.
I think this is something that has always been in the surface of our marriages, having to know that the woman is successful and things are not just going. Before we get even into the roots, the inner corpus of the matter, what do we mean when we say successful women struggle to strive in marriage, in the whole sense of it, the thorny dilemma? What do we mean by that? Can you help us break the topic for somebody who may be seeing it on the screen?
Maybe I think when we talk of successful women here, our definition of successful women here is women who have made it in life, women who have made it. And I think in this particular case, we're looking at women who have made it a little more than what most especially a little more than what their husbands, their partners have been able to do in the area of maybe academic achievement, social achievement, or social status, in the form of financial achievements. You know some women out there that they produce far more than what their husband can do. They command more. And what we have observed in the society is that such women struggle to have a successful marriage. They struggle to make it in marriage because of many other reasons. Unlike a woman who is depending 100% on the husband. So we see that when you put these two homes together, they have difficulties. I did a small survey in the office among 17 colleagues, and I saw 14 had that issue. Some even showed me text messages on their phone, and you read things like their partners are saying, yes, women who are educated will hardly submit. Another one read like, because you have gone to school, everything that you think that everything you say is correct, and I must listen back to you and such. So you see, it's a small kind of survey. I just already understood that women who are quite successful by the definition of our society, society's definition of a successful woman, such women tend to strive, they struggle to make a happy marriage, unlike another one who has not attained that level of success.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be getting in a little repose. Don't ask me why the numerous, jingles and jingle breaks. It is very worthy that my panelists, including myself, get to catch a breather, and including you, so that when we come very high-spirited and on fresh momentum. Don't go anywhere. This is Matters, and I remain your host, Mabel Camden. Don't go anywhere. From the jingle interlude, and of course, having gotten into or immersed ourselves into that swift interlude, we are coming back with a different spirit, and we are about to have a very high landing as we are flying on a different jet. Madame Etherine, I have trouble with Mrs. Mabel's definition of who a successful woman is. Why do I say so? Success is something which is very relative. Yes, Dangote could see the most richest woman in the Bohemian Society to be a church rat. Now, do you think there is a measuring rod for success?
Okay. I just wanted to start with the statement that success is relative. Of course, it's relative to different people and different sphere in life. And when we talk about successful women, we're talking about women who have achieved their goals, women who have achieved what they aspire to be. We're talking about women who have been set aside. By setting aside, it's women who you can look at and you nod your head and say, yes, this person is successful. Yes, so this is the kind of women we are talking about today. People who are successful in their business, in their career, in every sphere, self-development. Those people that you can really look at and you say, oh, I wish this person is my role model because they have a lot to offer. That's the woman we are looking at today.
Esther,
and regardless of the sphere, you could be a buy and seller.
Yeah. Yes, that's where I'm going to, because I've met these royal women, when I was working in the village. This woman sells sha, and then she works the farms. Unlike other women, from what she does, the farm, the sha that she sells, she's able to sponsor her children and send some to boarding schools. And so you see, she came to me for counseling because she had constant crisis with her husband. When it comes to decision making, at times you see when she will take a decision, maybe based on what she thinks is important or is going to be for the benefit of the children, the mom will say, okay, because I need to bring money, because that shall we the self day, there are people they can't shit with them, they drink, shall they give you money, So success, as you said, is really relative. And I was speaking to you, that particular home, don't think that success here is about, we're talking about the biggest women in Boya. No, we're talking even in the context of your home, between you and your partner, who is seemingly more successful, or and also it depends on the beholder. Your partner might be earning more than you, but has this complex or thinking that you are succeeding more than, or your success is a threat. For one reason or the other, he might think that you being successful, maybe just to a certain level, you're threatening his position or whatever.
So
I don't
I
know.
want us to establish something first of all, so we don't get either ourselves or the viewers confused. So we are saying that success is relative, and success, unlike the popular imagery, when you're looking at successful woman, where are you parked, the number of car keys you have, the number of dresses, human hairs, and all of
No.
that. So so it's way beyond that.
It's way beyond that. It's way beyond that, and it depends on the people. Since we're talking about a couple, so we really want it to be defined by them, the two of them. Between the two of you, you know, deep in your heart, who do you think is more successful? If it's the woman, is it problematic? Is it bringing problems in your home? That's the person we are addressing.
Okay. Wow, amazing. Of course, we are naturally addressing the women today. Now, do you think, Mrs. Etherine, that this issue of homes thriving because as a result of the fact that the woman is doing good for herself, in other words, successful, do you think it's because submission is missing in the equation? And what is the difficulty succeeding and being submissive? All start with an S, but very, very complex.
Okay, I would like to say that it starts from a journey. Normally, it starts from a journey from, I would say, from the education, na ladder. You know, men drop out a lot from school, especially lately. And then when they do, the women continue, and then they are PhD fellows, they are doctors, and it start bringing strife in the house. They start having normally problems. And then at the end of the day, these women are being the ones that maybe causes this strife in the house because the man feels insecure. Normally they feel insecure, they feel that maybe it's because she has gone to school a lot, maybe it's because I allowed her to do that and now she's controlling me. You know, normally submission is really required from these successful women more than is required from a moderate woman. You know, it is more required from a successful woman more. Even based, I'll try to focus my talk today on the society more, because it's not really just about the man and the woman, but it's basically all these stripes stem from the society, what people maybe put into that relationship. Because I would say this, you might really have a husband and he's very understanding, he loves the fact that you're successful. As a matter of fact, I've seen men who have really sent their wives to school. I've seen men who have opened big shops for their wife. I've seen men who have done a lot so that their wife should be very successful. I've seen such men. And then at the end of the day, the society just put in their mouth in that house and everything is destroyed. I'm saying so because society in itself has set a lot of rules to say, you know, we all grew up as women, we grew up to be housewives, I must say. And because we grew up to be housewives, we know that there are certain responsibilities that a wife is supposed to perform in the house. And then when these two people, the man and the wife, when they understand themselves, maybe they bring in a house help or maybe help from family member, society start putting in their mouth into that house. And at the end of the day, they'll be like, you see, your wife is controlling you. You see, she's not even doing her duty as a wife. You see, they start bringing in meaningless things into the relationship. And at the end of the day, they say your wife is not submissive. And submissiveness still is relative. I'm saying so because when a woman is successful, that you have the ability to make certain decisions, and then at the end of the day, you don't make those decisions by yourself because you know that you have a man, you have an authority. And most times, the men are kind of maybe having some self-esteem issues because some women feel that, yes, because I have the money to get myself a new phone, I should just go ahead and do it. And I'm doing it for the man. I'm doing it for us. But there are some men who needs to be, maybe I should just have a discussion with me as your husband before making certain decisions. To some men, you going ahead, getting things for yourself. We normally term those girls as boss lady. They don't see a place of a man in their life, and that is
and
the.
is it a bad thing? Sorry to shush you.
Oh, okay, I
Being
can.
a boss lady, how bad is that?
I wouldn't say it's a bad thing.
Being a boss lady simply means I can get this thing to myself without overly being dependent on another man.
Yeah, I would say that is good when you're alone, when you're single. I think you can make those certain decisions. But when you're married, when you're clicked to somebody, I feel that there are certain decisions that you need to talk about it with the man.
Even if you can earn it.
Yeah, even if you can earn it.
I think that's the real definition of submission.
I'm saying so because people feel that some people might want to get themselves maybe an iPhone. There are certain women that want to get themselves an iPhone, but they don't have the money. And if the man says wait, trust me, they'll wait. That is called obedience. They are waiting. It's obedience because they don't have the means to. But when we talk about submissiveness,
It's strength put under control.
Yeah, it's strength put under control. It means they have the willpower, they have the financial power, they have everything to make that decision, but yet they listen to when the man says wait.
Okay,
And
now
wait.
let's try to see a clear cut between the two. A woman who is flying around, and speaking and all the rest, doesn't have money to book a flight ticket maybe to Canada for a speaking engagement, and the husband says wait, she waits. That is obedience.
Yes.
But she has all what it takes for her to travel, and the husband says don't go, she doesn't. That's submission.
Yes.
That's submission
That's
because
submission.
you're letting your will to the authority of the man. I'm able to pay my flight ticket and he says don't
So
go.
obedient is when no day, not only that.
Yes, I'm just
Yes.
doing it because even if you disobey, how will you afford the flight ticket?
Yes.
Even if you disobey, how will you afford it?
So you're
But now if you somebody might be arguing that maybe in my heart, even if I had it, I could still wait. It depends. So they say the true character of somebody when you give the person money. The person has money or access to those
Or
things.
power.
Yes, power. So you have the means to afford something, and then they tell you that the person you're submitting under, biblically you're supposed to submit to your husband, and he says please don't buy it now, or for whatever reason he gives, and you don't do it. That is submission. But you not doing it because you don't have the money, it's not only submission, it is mere obedience. And so you see that it becomes a little also difficult for these women we define as being successful. It's very challenging for them to be submissive. It's very challenging because, why will I say so? Most women who are successful will normally become selective. For example, you have the money and perhaps you have the status, and there is this occasion that you're supposed to go and officiate, or you're supposed to be there by virtue of the position that you occupy, maybe in the company or in the society, and then now your husband says don't go. It's difficult. As I already said, it is let's speak more on submission on the part of women who are successful. It's very difficult, especially submission to things that you can afford. We also know that submission has to do with maybe ideas, decisions, maybe decisions on which school the children should go, or which church. Let me say something that doesn't need money. Which church we should attend. And then your husband says, no, let's go by this. Whether we should belong to a Jangi group or not, or to a family meeting group or not. Yes, that is submission, in that you want to let your will into the authority of another person when you can do without him. That's the real definition of submission. And so now this woman is successful, and the husband says, do not go for this meeting, do not go for this outing. I don't need your money, I just need your permission, or I just want you to be aware that there is this outing that my colleagues are going and I want to go.
There are women watching this program, and I feel like there is somebody in that space where she is willing to be the submissive wife. She started off being a submissive wife. Yes, I'm doing way more. Maybe my husband is just a carpenter, and I'm a regional delegate of something, and I have all the papers coming in way more than he does. And all these things you're citing, religion, school, all of that. So I've always let my husband to be at the helm of all of these things. But it has come to that place, in your words, Miss Etherine, that the man starts facing insecurity or esteem issues, and the woman starts acting unruly. Because the truth is, you cannot cage a woman on purpose. You cannot cage a woman who has, who is on a high speed to their own personal achievement. So in that case, is there a justification, especially when esteem issues come into the equation for women to act unruly?
That's kind of tricky, where I would say that irrespective of how you feel, when it comes to relationship, there's something called communication. When it comes to relationship, I feel that every relationship is good to communicate certain things. And that is because maybe, just maybe, your husband doesn't understand your stand. He doesn't understand maybe what you really are doing in your sphere. He doesn't understand. But maybe having a chat with him, like really talking with him, he might maybe understand you in certain levels. And that is why we keep advising, especially the single ladies out there, find yourself before you get married. We keep saying so because if you find yourself, if you are a successful woman, if a man should come before you, at least he will know that this is what I'm engaging in. He would know. And you, as a successful girl, a successful young lady, you will also know that this is the kind of man that suits me. Because there are certain women that will not go for certain men. And because of exposure, we get to see this every day. And most apparently, you got married when you were still just maybe a high school fellow, and then you got married, your husband sent you to school, and today you're a doctor, today you occupy a very big position in the company, in your school, wheresoever. When you're there, exposure makes you to find men of your own caliber. If you had to choose a man with all of that, I don't think you choose your husband. Because that is why when you find yourself, it's just an advice to all the single ladies out there. When you want to find yourself.
Sarine, I think maybe you should explain better when you say find yourself. Do you think we really understand? Maybe you go deeper. Are you talking about me knowing my purpose? First of all, yes. How do I find myself? Is it that I should know my purpose of existence? Is it like that, like the Bible says, a woman is supposed to be a helpmate, and now I'm coming to help you. What are you doing? If I understand well, I start being corrected. Maybe are you saying we should try and be matched up or married to those who move in line with what we have been called to do, or what we find interesting as our interests?
All right, what I'm trying to simply say is that by finding yourself, what are you about? Are you a spoken word artist? Do you want to be a journalist? What are you? Do you want to be a lecturer? Do you have special abilities to teach? Do you have special abilities to be a fashionista? Find yourself. It means in all of this fair, there is something that is unique to you. There is something that you find interest in doing.
So, and then you discuss with them.
I feel that when you find this self, it will be very easy. I'm telling you, the reason why most women they struggle in their marriage today is because they got married to the people who are not up to what they didn't know that they will be this it, and now they are the it, and then the husband is not up to what. If they have to choose again, I'm telling you, the caliber of men they will choose is not.
That's another topic.
I think unlike what some other it's really not decent for moderators or hosts of talk shows or debate programs to throw in their support, but I think this is considering or cognizant the sensitivity of the matter. Let me try to contribute on what finding yourself simply means. Finding yourself simply means that you should not be because of somebody. Away from that person's relevance. What are you? Can you stand independently? Can you find an expression, just like what she has said, in your talent, in your happiness, and all of that? Do you know there are some people who are so synced in their husbands or their partners' shadows that they don't have any image on their own
aside
their husbands or aside their wives? So beside being Mrs. Atabo, Mrs. Etonge, what are you? you are Mabel the therapist, you're Mabel the this, you're Mabel the that. So I think for easy assimilation, maybe I was able to help there.
Yeah.
So going back to the question which you currently did not answer, let me ask the therapist again. Some women are in dire need. They want to. I want to submit, and I've started submitting. They are conscious. Just like you are a PhD fellow, and I don't think with all the knowledge that you have as a counselor, if you happen to get married tomorrow, I think with all of this, you would understand the place and the relevance of submission, and you'll be able to give it to your fullest. But there, if you're unfortunate to meet a man who is there to pluck your wings because they are insecure, what do? Do you act unruly and get away with it? Because there are all of these methodologies that you try to employ or discharge in your relationship that doesn't work. They have explored their last cut of communication, it's still not working. They have brought their papa to pray and it's still not working. So in that case, what do? Do I just damn the consequences and just act unruly and let the man just wallow in his low self-esteem?
Okay, I'm going to say that this it's really, like Esari said, it's tricky and it's difficult. As a counselor, I cannot just go broadly and say that communicate or do this, because there's so many strong head or let him be, he will get along. No, there's so many things that I'm going to put in place in order to come up with my diagnosis. I'll use so many different assessment tools, and so please, for that, let me first of all say seek for counseling from a good counselor. Seek for counseling. But I think we're going to explore more on some of the things that causes men to behave like this, or some of the things that lead to such situations in marriage, so that at your personal level you might want to ask yourself, is it from my end or is from his end? And maybe you educate yourself more, you inform yourself more on how to do it in such a marriage. You might also want to get to listen to somebody who has a similar situation like yours, and maybe make that person your, we call it godmother for your marriage. Go beside the person, ask, how do you do this?
Worthy and deserving.
Yes, deserving of it.
Don't go and do work with sister in the quarter.
No.
Ties alone over
normally somebody who is successful in that area will be somebody who is a successful woman and equally having a successful marriage or happy marriage. So you identify such a person and follow the person. Life is easy now. You can follow such a person online. You can also follow such a person, select from the neighborhood. I think that is just one of a general methodology that you can apply. But if it's so difficult, seek for counseling.
There is still a Tony puzzle. While the woman is not successful, her ability for submission is on an upsurge. And while she becomes successful, it is looking down. It's looking down like this. What is missing? What goes wrong the moment a woman starts doing well and she starts writing her name too in the sands of time?
Okay, I would like to say what goes wrong. Probably she had a striving career. It could be she's successful in business and all of that. Then the what goes wrong. It could be that you have a successful business and your husband is okay, but there might just be a trigger. It might just be that your husband was triggered by something. Maybe he struggled one day, you just made a statement and then it got him all thinking. Maybe it's like this woman has started growing horns, There must be, I always like to ask the question, when you got married, I want to ask you, when you got married, you were struggling. Was your husband like this before you got married to him? Or did he change along the line? I think we need to put all of these together, because if he changed along the line, I want to bet that there was a trigger. Something definitely happened. It might be a slip of tongue, it might be an action, it might be just something. So what goes wrong could be any, or it could be a trigger, it could be a statement that you made, it could just be a small something. And these men are very insecure when it comes to certain levels. They feel like, because I made her, and they like to say I've made her, they feel this, they give this kind of Jones, like it's because of me that she is this person, it's because of me. So when they feel a little threatened, and usually we as women, we don't even know that we've made these men feel this way, because of course we don't struggle to talk, we talk a lot. You know, they often say there is this myth that says that women talk a lot. That the one that is quiet
speaks, I think, about 14,000 words.
They say the one that is quiet, the woman that is quiet, maybe has not been given an interesting topic to talk about. So they say every woman talks. So I was like, no, I'm not sure. So women are really cool. They say, no, give them an interesting topic. And
that means it's in our nature.
It's in our nature, of course.
So can these men just understand us?
It's in our wiring. So maybe, you know, in the way we talk, you might just feel angered sometimes and make a statement, and then it causes this thing in your relationship.
I equally think that I'm going to say this. I don't know how controversial it's going to look like. When you attain a certain status, you are talking of a woman who used to be very submissive and now became very successful and having difficulty submitting totally, right? Could it also be that her choices changed? She became selective? Because when you attain a certain level, trust me now, when you have money, if today your income increases from maybe 500,000 a month to $1 million, you will change the type of dresses you're wearing, the quality, for sure. The shops you used to enter, your taste, everything is going to change. Even the pot, the food. I remember me changing even my pots from Makokoda. I removed it all. And so somebody might have a problem with that. And so now, you see, attaining a certain level, every level comes with its own. Just giving a small child who used to buy bonbon for 25 and you increase the child's allowance.
Even if taste is, you know, somehow modified or elevated, how does that affect your sense of submission?
She mentioned something. Okay, for sense of submission. Imagine me now, before now, we used to cook in Morocco. Morocco is not even expensive. Sardine fish. And then because I attain a certain level, I start bringing chicken and the others. And then my husband is like, let's buy cement. And I'm like, I'm working money. Let me eat what I work. It's not like I'm asking you for money to go and buy this chicken. And I brought it to the table. Eat it. You are being ungrateful. That alone will trigger him. And then now, neighbors will come in. That woman, the way they talk for you, it makes it worse. Remember Mrs. Moa said the other day, when you are dating from the background, the man will say, I'll take you for who you are. You can be the president of Cameroon. I'll be the first man. No problem. I'll be the first gentleman. But the moment we make it public, people start saying, don't take this from your wife. You know that woman has gone to school.
So
if you do this, you do this. Yes, the society plays a lot. And so you see, they play a lot and it aggravates it. Something that the man could just maybe take it. But now when the society and other people starting putting, then us the in-laws. And then this, nowadays it is worse. We don't only have biological in-laws, we have social media in-laws.
Of course.
Yes.
And those ones are more radical.
I don't even like me them more.
When you get married, they start observing your womb. You know what, born? When you're married and you do anything on your statues, it's very suffering. So they get a little bit too observant.
Yes.
Let's talk about the role society play. I know some people try as much as possible to keep their marriages, relationships away from public or media attention, which is succeeding in the most part of it. But in this case where it's still not under public eye or media eye, and still yet society like your neighbors still get to infiltrate, how do we build a guard around that kind of circumstance? Society could maybe your mother-in-law, your sister-in-law, anybody. So in that case, what role should society not play, or how do we get to, put a barrier against that kind of circumstance?
All right. When we talk about society, we're talking about us. Society is us, the community, na me and you. Yes, like you say. So it's about us. And society plays a very big role in a successful relationship, starting from the roles that they give us as women first. You know, we grew up, when you grew up, your mom taught you how to cook, how to clean the house, how to do laundry, right? She did a lot of that. Do you know what she was preparing you for?
That's right.
To be a housewife. That's the responsibility of a housewife. And then we now have these roles that the society has placed on us to say, when you get married, you should be the one cleaning, you should be the one cooking, you should be the one doing all of this. And then you are now married, and then you are now very successful. You know that you now have double roles: one, a career woman; two, a housewife. And then as a housewife, you have to clean the house, wake up kids from bed, take care of them, send them to school, maybe even cook, because based on your work schedule, I'm not sure you'll be back before they get back from school. You have to cook, you have to go to work, you have to come back, you continue your marital duty. And then at the end of the day, your mother-in-law, your sister-in-law, they start saying you don't come to the house early. It's like you're dating other men and all of that. And I ask myself, do they even think of the fact that you don't rest? And I ask myself, so I'm saying this because I'm talking to us, the society. We are the
Us,
society.
the sister-in-laws.
We are the society. We are the sister-in-laws. And then we put a lot of pressure on these women. And then when they want to retaliate, it becomes a problem. I just want to say that we have a big role to play. Let's be considerate. Let's try to be considerate. Always think that if it was me, how would I feel if I am working and not appreciated? I think many mother-in-laws, many sister-in-laws should at least appreciate the fact that their sister-in-law is working. It means that they'll have more money. The money that your brother was supposed to give the wife, at least the wife has money. So they are going to add. If they were supposed to give you 10,000 francs as mother-in-law, because your daughter-in-law is working, it might even be added to 15,000. So I think that we should maybe support them in any way that we can. We should just support them. Sometimes one of the support is just to sit quiet. Don't talk much.
Okay.
Yes.
I have somebody who has sent a very striking message, and I see all your contributions coming, dear viewers. There is going to be a part in the program where we are going to be taking questions, trying to see how to respond to them, and all the accolades that you all are giving. In fact, all your reactions, but not now. But in the meantime, let us see what this person has written. This is from Dr. Nelson Atabong from Mutengene. He says, success has many facets and may be misleading if you see it from one side. You have career success, academic success, family success, success in business, etc. So talking about successful person, you must take account of all these aspects. You cannot just conclude from one aspect, because someone can be successful in a career but failing at the family level. So you cannot call that person successful. Successful person in a sum total of all, it's a sum total of all the facets. I think this is a very powerful contribution. What are your reservations to this?
Well, I want to say that success again is relative. I'm saying so because if you can succeed in education, at least in that sphere of education, you are a successful person. You might be in your career. In that you are a successful person. It might be in any sphere, and all of these sphere, you must not be successful in all the sphere before you are called a successful person. It is very relative. Wherever you find yourself, there is nobody. I've not seen no one.
Who is a balanced
who is a all-knowing.
Yes,
I've not seen.
There is nobody. So success simply means I am putting my goals, I'm crushing these goals.
Yes.
I used to have a problem with one pastor whose name I would want to keep, in the cupboards. He told me one day as a motivational speaker, he said, Mabel, how many cars do you have? How many houses have you built? But still yet you're talking about success. That was a hit on my face.
So his definition of success was
and I
having
back,
those
I made a
things.
whole session about him. I said the next time you do it, I'll call your name, and people are going to bash you. You can be a spiritual figure, but you don't know it all.
Yeah.
I am successful. If at my age I've written 2 books that is selling, I'm successful.
You are.
And you're influencing lives.
If I'm influencing lives and people are able to have their moral compass in check, I am successful. It means every day when I wake up, I say, okay, Mabel, today I'm going to do this to improve my life, and I crush it. Am I not successful?
You are.
But there are levels to this success.
Yeah.
There are levels
And then different
there are
domains.
stages, and there are different
And
domains.
success ties down with your goals. What is
Exactly.
it that you said that you've achieved? It's just like happiness. Happiness is relative. I might be happy just for the fact that I've eaten today.
Or giving
you
you
might,
more.
yeah, you might be happy because you have a car.
And then it
You
depends on
might
the kind
be
of thing that
happy-
you ate.
Of course.
You might be happy eating just banana. Very contented.
So your happiness is
Yes.
not mine. Your success story is not mine. So you might be successful as a very good journalist, and I am successful as a counselor.
Guess what? There is
What is
Oprah
that?
Winfrey,
Of course.
who is one of the successful women today, but allegedly she was raped.
Yeah.
Till today, it is affecting her psyche.
It does.
So if you want to say a successful woman is somebody who is balanced all around, who
It
is
means you're going to say that
It
she's
means
not a
she's
successful
not-
person.
Yeah, she's not and you have a fictional successful woman you've seen. I've not seen any that is balanced in all.
Okay, I think that is why we acknowledge that we have these women who seemingly are successful in other domains but having issues when it comes to their family.
Yes,
Yeah.
Those are the people we are
Those are the
addressing.
people we are
So,
addressing
doctor, we
today.
are addressing
Yes.
these people
Yes,
who are
yes,
seemingly very successful in other areas, other domains of life, but they have issues when it comes to family. How do we help them balance up? You ask a question about in-laws. I think what I've seen work for me and for many other people I've come across is that the husband who is the head of the family, please make your family know that now I have a wife and they can only be a captain to a ship, so that she will not be turning the ship this way and another person turning it that way. Please let them understand that, okay, there is somebody now. Give that person space in terms of decision. A woman needs space. The woman just needs to know that you will see a woman say, you entered my kitchen, you entered my pot. Let the woman just feel like she has the kitchen, she has the
And
pot,
that's how it's supposed
she
to be.
has this. And when you do that and let your family know, give them, it's not a no go area. And meanwhile, dear wives, my co-wives,
No, it's not a place of advice.
please
It's not a place
also,
of advice.
no,
here.
because for you to work you need to also understand that I know these people before you
Maybe
came.
let's reserve the best for
Okay.
the last. Let's look at triggers. You've said something, and I know somebody will be like this, stiffing or on their positions or in their positions because they want to get some of those triggers, which you enumerated a few, and how we can avoid some of those triggers. Sometimes it doesn't come consciously, just like you and the therapist here. We're trying to talk about women talking in love. The talkative part of us is embedded in us. So how do you by yourself know that no, this is going to be a trigger and let me avoid it? And how do you avoid triggers?
Okay, avoiding triggers, I would say it starts from what your intent. In other words, sometimes when you talk to the man, you know what you want to pass across. Most times when you talk to the man, you know what you want to pass across. Sometimes you just say something like, "I want hot tea." I wanted him to feel what I'm feeling. But in the midst of that, you're causing triggers. By trigger, I mean maybe he had seen a situation before now. He has seen maybe while growing up, he has seen how women have been successful and left their husbands. It could even be that his own father was left by the mom because he succeeded. It could be that he has seen these things around. Then you make such statements, then he gets to think, what if it's happening? What if I'm almost there? So I want to say that the women should be very careful the things they say. I understand that we feel we are too emotional. We are very emotional, and sometimes when we are emotional, when we are in that state, we don't think straight. All we think is we want to make him understand that we are mad. We want him to know that we are pained, and you will do anything whatsoever to make sure that thing is passed across. And irrespective of the fact that you know your husband, like I always say, learn to know the man. There are some men that words really gets to them. There are other men you just say
They don't care.
no, they don't care. So I think knowing your husband will be of great help to you. If you know your husband and you know that he's a person who doesn't take word lightly, he can forgive you when you ask for apology at the end of the day, but he will never forget. He will keep it somewhere in his heart. And each time you keep doing it, he will be like, yeah, the cup is getting full. And then at the end of the day, when something keeps filling, even if it's dropped, there'll be an overflow. There'll be an outburst someday. And that day, it might really be brutal.
Mrs. Mebek said something, it was actually a teaser, but I think this is one of the best moments to hold on to it real tight. You said something very passive about why men behave the way they do. It's very important. I know sometimes we get emotional that even when these women come and they tell us that my husband is beginning to be insecure, most of us lack the attribute of discernment, the spirit to discern that and ask right questions. Before an action, I think there is a trigger or something. There is a way they put it. For every action, there is something.
A reaction.
A reaction.
Yes. So what is that So what is that action? Why is there that action? Why are these men behaving like that, the way they do? If you are that man out there and your woman always thinks that you are threatened by her success, or she feels like you're not welcoming her stride as a successful woman, I think this is the reason why this is the time we need to start educating you people, both the man and the woman, as to why you behave the way you do without even knowing. And some men, they know, but they don't know how to
communicate it.
their fears to
Okay, I
their
think
partners.
one of the main issue is an ego defense mechanism. Our men, because we have elaborated this, our society holds that the man is supposed to be the successful one in most cases. Our society holds that the man should be the one buying the car. I've seen a couple in this boya. The woman has bought cars. She has big jeeps. The man is still using his normal Nissan that he started using since
And they are
1900. He has said, I'm the one who's supposed to buy a car, so I'm not going to enter your jeep. And he doesn't. She has built story buildings, mansions, and he has not moved into it. And then as she is submissive, why will I say so? She's still with him in that normal 3-bedroom house that they had when the man used his small salary to build. She became very successful over the time. And with the things that she has acquired, the man doesn't want it. It means in his nature, there are many things. There's the equal defense mechanism and there's the personality. I think in this case, it's the personality of the man. He has refused to acknowledge that a woman can bring it and I use it.
That's
Two different points. Let me use his personality. As a person, he's of that type that he thinks he should be the one doing it. And so if you're doing it, maybe you and your children can enjoy it, but I'm not going to be part of it. She has mansions. They live in a 3-bedroom house. She's riding on the big jeeps. He is still using his normal car. So you see, in his person, he's that kind of person that I will not take it. Yes, I should be. Control. I applaud for the woman because some women will leave you in the house and move to their mansion. Mm-hmm. Yes, they will. So for that one, I can say she's really successful. I know it's difficult because somebody like me, I like a nice house, and then I will really build a mansion and I'm somewhere. Okay, that's personality. You see, there are different persons, but another man in this man's shoes will be the one even going ahead to build the houses, to control the projects, and maybe to sit in it, to enjoy it. That is my woman's thing, is my own. Another man, by his person, will even misuse these things, sell them, use the cars, move with other girls. We have seen it. That's just personality. And now when I talk about defense mechanism, some just want to feel like they feel now that, they feel guilty, they feel not being successful, they feel like a failure because maybe the society said that it's your woman doing it, so you're not a man enough. So because of this, they tend to behave differently. They tend to struggle to defend themselves or to, as a coping strategy, or to prove a point to the society that I'm somebody. They become very aggressive, no matter whether the woman triggers them or not. When there's a decision, like one of the messages I said when I did the survey, I read, it was a simple thing: let the children go to this school so that they don't get to pay them. Boss is beside them. No, I said they will go to this other one. And you're like, wait, what is this? It's going to ease the person collect. Is it because you have gone to school that I talk, you want to talk back? So they just want to feel that any decision that you take, they should counter it to prove that they are the man. So most of them just do that as a way of proving a point. It's a coping strategy for them to feel that they are the men of the house. Since you are the one paying the fees, you should not take decision on. You should not also do this. You are taking over their house. So there are many to such. Many men behave like that. Yes.
I think I'm really learning.
And I think that it is also the society that has caused this particular problem, because society has made the men to know that they are the superior beings. They are the superior, and the women are the inferior ones. So when a woman starts succeeding and then start hitting different heights, there becomes a collision. The woman now collides with the man's superiority. At the end of the day, start fighting who is superior. So to them, they feel that when they say a man is superior, it's a man that has it all. Of course, the Bible says the woman is a helpmate, meaning that with the woman, you can even hit more heights than you could have hit yourself. And I think it's a plus to me. It's a plus to have a successful woman.
But most of them don't see it like that.
Yeah, just like you said, it could be a defense mechanism. It could be the persona of the man.
Yeah.
And all of these, we are simply saying that as a man, please try to support your wife. Support her. And then you have a striving relationship. Because at the end of the day, the relationship that lasts is even the one that have shared meaning and purpose. Those who have shared meaning and purpose. So if it's something, if your wife is going, you guys have shared meaning and purpose, I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect.
Wow, that's quite beautiful. Thank you so much, Mrs. Edemin. Mom, maybe do you have anything else to add?
Yes, I just want to say that many things, many factors we might not have time to explore, or many factors account to men having that feeling of their wife being more successful than them and having difficulties or struggling to have a happy marriage. One of it is complexity. Some men have superiority
Is
complex.
that self-esteem issues?
Yes, it has to do with self issues. So they have this superiority complex that I am the man, like I described in the personality of this other guy in Boya. I am the man, I should be the one taking the decisions. Even when you work there money, you bring it here, I decide with it. Then some have inferiority complex. They just feel threatened the moment you hit it. And the moment people are telling you congratulations, you made it, they feel a little more threatening. And in order to defend themselves now, or to cope with what they are feeling, you see different, you see change of attitude, change of character. So please watch out. What is it that it's bringing issues? Is it because you're feeling inferior? It's okay to have that kind of feelings, but if you are aware of it, you know how to handle it. Yes, it's okay at times to feel like it's like this woman is the head of this household.
You know,
I overheard a colleague tell a woman, a neighbor told the husband that, did you say that you are the head of this house? We have two heads. Yeah, we have two heads in this house because we do things 50-50. This is a trigger.
And it's so condescending. You know, some women too are actually putting a spanner to the work, and you are not helping.
At all.
If you men are naturally egoistic by nature, and a man wants to feel that regardless of the fact that you have so much power, he wants to be in control no matter what that man wants to have. And I remember a conversation I had with you, Mrs. Mabel, last year. I said, how does your husband do it? Giving you all of this with, and he's the one giving you, not like you are taking it. I want my wife to. I want, if there was another rank aside the PhD, he would want you to do it. So what is that secret? Before we get to that secret, maybe what applies to your home personally, so that some women can relate to it. Do you think this issue of the two shall become one wasn't or has not been quite understood? Because it has been if it were that the two people coming to form one entity, you will not feel very threatened by the other person's growth. Do you think the problem starts or stems from us even understanding that you and I coming together, we are one, and if I am succeeding, it's for us. And if I'm ritual, and if I am,
Not making it well,
it is for us still.
All right, I will say that first of all, a lot of things normally that's the initial plan of God, that the two shall become one, and that has been happening from time began and up until now. But a lot of things have changed. You see two broken pieces, two broken people coming together as one, coming into a relationship with their insecurities, with their brokenness, with their pain, and all of that. So when they say two shall become one, they're talking about two whole people. Two people that have been healed individually, not two bitter people, not two broken people. And these insecurities that we talk about every day stem from the various relationships that we get ourselves involved in before we come. Before now they used to say sex is people get married before having sex, but now people get married then they stop having sex with other people. You understand? They used to say, okay, monogamy, you get married, one man, one woman. But now, monogamy is when you stop dating other people.
In the real sense of it.
You understand? So all of these things have changed. They have changed because we don't longer preserve ourselves before getting married. So we get married broken. We get into marriage broken. We get into marriage. We are all wasted. And then at the end of the day, we expect these women, we expect these men to understand us. At the end of the day, they come with a quote, accept me for who I am. That is not who you were. That is not who you were. Situations, circumstances have made you to be somebody you're not. And so it is difficult for the other person to even accommodate you. I want to believe that if you were the person you were just, you've never dated before, you grew up in a good home, and then you learn some certain values that you think you're lacking in, and then you also meet this man that has this similar value. Normally we know that when two people, the thing that makes a relationship to last longer is people who have shared purpose and meaning. But today you see people, I mean, you even see some people coming for premarital counseling, they are looking like this. I mean, the relationship is already going.
Yeah.
It's so clear.
I had one let me cut you. I conducted one premarital counseling for after 6 sessions, and I was praying my heart, God, let these people separate. And behold, they separated. Sorry to say, I was happy, because that was a plane on its way to crash.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And the crash could have been terrible, because it was supposed to crash plus the families.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm not in the position to tell them that people should separate.
Of course not. You cannot.
You cannot. But God helped me as I was praying, and they announced that separation to me, and it still crashed with the family, because they had gone a little far. So
I see most of your comments coming in. Thank you. It feels good to know that you're watching the program, and we are super elated. You know, one of our driving force is the fact that when we sit back in the house and we tend to imagine the millions of lives who are going to be touched by a particular session, we just can't sit on our laurels in the house. We want to get into the closet, pick up our dresses, struggle to look good and come here and be successful. Let us look at the composure before I take a step further to reading some of these comments, beautiful comments I see online. What are some of those composure, or what is that composure that is supposed to be expected from a married woman who is successful? Not even a married woman, from somebody who is in a relationship, because even in courtship it suffers. Is it because you have the masters and I have this advanced level? Is it because let us take your personal case, which I'm always very fascinated by. How do you do it? Getting to manage your kids, your home, your husband, and he's still a driving force. How?
okay, I think this comes from the person. There are many factors. The person you choose as a partner. And so there are so many things. I don't know whether because I was training myself to become a counselor, and I read a lot of books, and I got to discuss so many things before marriage. Although some people discuss this, and when they get married, things change. We had agreed on many things before marriage, and the person, please know yourself, identify yourself. Esther, you put it in a nice way. You said, find yourself, then you will find somebody. Before, what are you bringing to the table? Check what is on that table, please. If it matches with what you're bringing, there should not be okra and then you're bringing salad and arrow. Bring some other thing to complement it. Don't bring something that will instead lead to disaster. What am I saying? The person I had to get married to, first I found myself. I knew what I was going to be doing, and so now I'm looking at somebody who will support me. Either somebody who will be doing what I'm doing, or somebody who will tolerate what I'm doing, who will be okay with it and promote me in it. Okay, imagine that maybe I thought the person was like that and I fell in wrong hands. It could be different. So if I'm succeeding today, it's because he understands it and he supports it. We had identified it from the beginning.
But we have
and also
where the tables
get turned. Yes, that's what I'm saying. You come now, the food, they've changed it. They've changed the menu and everything. Please know yourself first, and proper communication. I was talking the other day on conflict resolution styles. There are times to say things in order to solve these issues of triggers. There are times you have to talk, the tone you use in talking, the way you communicate it, the period at which you communicate it, and how you go about it. Okay, you say you did this, it was wrong. This is what I equally did, that was wrong. And I think this is what we can do to fix it, than putting the blame only on one side. This just is a small formula that works. So in case your table has turned, please try to follow this and continuously push it till they understand. I don't really know how to do this, or you seek for counsel, because we'll put many other factors in place.
How should women comport themselves? I have learned one thing from both of you. Do not throw your success, or do not trigger. You know,
watch out for triggers.
There are some words, especially by use of words. Especially, imagine a situation where maybe you pay light bills, food, children's school fees, and the man comes back because the man is unable to meet up with those responsibilities, and because of another argument that is not even related, you bring it up, and that man will go to work devastated and start overthinking things and all of that. So I think we women to contribute to the nastiness of situations in the marriage. What other thing? How should women carry themselves when they are successful? Please remember, we are talking about successful women, and we started by establishing who a successful woman is.
Okay, I want to add that the woman should carry the man along. By carrying the man along, don't make him feel that he's not wanted. Don't make him feel that your success is yours alone. Like I often say, I'm so excited that I'm single and I'm doing my PhD now. I'm like, I used to tell my friend, I say, imagine me on my wedding day, they call me Dr. Mrs. and then my husband's name. It's so exciting. You know, carry your husband along. Every time they feel like you prefer other people, you're proud of other people, they can really invite you somewhere. What is wrong if you take him along? And then even if it's just for example, Madam Mabel, her husband was supposed to be here. You understand? That's somebody supportive, and he would have even be sitting there while watching, or even be sitting here. So there's no way the man is going to feel a certain way.
And she's
and you understand, and that is why the husband is not feeling anyhow. So when you don't carry him along, he feels isolated, he feels very insecure. Carry him along. Maybe he's not up to the standard, he's not up to the caliber of the man you're proud of, but that's the one you choose. So it's your load. You have to.
No, please let me just take this aside. A friend told me when we were in courtship that, what are you doing with this man? Even if he takes a loan, even if they give him 10 years loan, he will not be able to make the foundation of a house. But you know, I saw beyond that. Like I'm saying, what I was bringing to the table, I was spying what is on that table. Through his mindset, I saw far beyond, and God helped me do. But now, what I'm saying is, when you see it's not of your level, what do? I'm not saying you change a person's character. This is beyond character. You've already identified this character is what I want. The mindset is what I want. The goals, the objectives that this person has is what I want. Now we're talking maybe about the facial look and maybe intellectual ability. You can help the person carry along, as you're saying, to reach a certain level. We get to be very informed and we leave our partners. Then you expect us to work together. It cannot go. The two cannot work unless they agree. And so you can only agree when you have a certain level of understanding of a concept. So there are times that I will take my time and explain a certain concept so that he has the same understanding that I have before we can move along. Okay, after coming here, perhaps we have done research. Then you come here and you learn a lot of things from from the comments and every other thing. Then you go, you just expect that when you say it, he should just understand. No.
He has not been taught.
He has not been taught.
So he doesn't.
You didn't take him along. You can take time. You can take our time in a nice way and you explore. But what do you think about this? Even before coming here, I asked him, what do you think about this? He gave us some very nice points. I could have loved him to be able to give to the men. Now, you bring your own. You people are both educating yourself. We are not saying that you must go and pay him school fees or let him go to school and learn also to have the PhD. No. In the concepts that make meaning in your home and that you need in order for you people to grow, explore it together in a nice way. And you see, you when you have the same level of understanding, you will come to an agreement and you have got.
I like the sound of you go. I hope that you people watching, you be God to
go higher.
Please just struggle to go higher. You know, this is not a rocket science. It's not. Marriage is not easy. Yes, it comes with its own hiccups, lows, ups.
Sure.
But there are some basic. I think with equal will, I'm willing to make this work. You are willing to make this work. I'm not saying that it's 80-40. I don't believe in that.
It's 100-100.
I think it's 100-100.
So that if you're not there should still be stability. The problem we have often, we say relationship is 50-50 or relationship is 80-20. It means a relationship is 100-100. There are two whole beings.
There's supposed to be a head of the family.
I know, by what I'm saying is not maybe
equating.
It's not equating a man
power,
to
authority.
a woman. That's
Okay.
not what
It's
I'm
just
saying.
effort.
It's
effort.
to make it
I'm
work.
saying that to you, it
Okay.
could be just a housewife. Your responsibility, do it to 100.
Yes.
Yeah.
It could be a husband, do it to 100.
Yes.
Don't say that if you are also a wife, you're successful, you have a career, you have a household responsibility. If you can do do it as though you're doing to yourself. Like, I'm taking care of my kids, I'm taking care of my husband. I've seen people done that. They are career women, but I tell you, they cook for their husband. Though they have house help and sister-in-laws to help. Yeah, but they tell themselves, they prepare
the spices.
I want to cook for my husband, and I want to ask you this question: if it were your husband, do you think he will feel a certain way when he thinks that he feels that you have him at high esteem? And secondly, another thing is, the man should 100 go somewhere with him, be proud.
There is a female commissioner in Yaoundé. My mom always tells me this story, whose name she's never managed to tell me. It happens to be her very close friend. So each time she travels to Yaoundé, she goes there to the abode and sleeps the night and does whatever. The law of their house is, the man is just a normal floor member, while the woman is a commissioner, a big commissioner in Yaoundé. She never goes home with her uniform. Never ever. It's a law in their house. So out of curiosity had my mother ask why it's that way. The husband told my mom she is a wife in this house. She's not commissioned.
Yeah.
So that was just a way of doing it, so that she consciously reflect that this uniform or this military fatigue that I'm putting on automatically is my office. So I cannot take my office to the house. I'm leaving my office where my office is supposed to be, and it's working for them.
It's working for them. So in essence, do what works for you.
Yeah.
But essentially, there's this school of thought I've gotten to even try to make them understand my points, and they have refused. There's this group of boys, I talk with them often, and they feel that when we talk about marriage, all this advice that you're giving and all the training you're talking, it should be on the woman, because it's the woman that makes it work. No matter what I say. So when you're talking of 100, I think these people, if they are watching you now, they will not be happy with what you're saying, because they think that the woman should be the one to do everything, let the man bring the money, and once the woman is doing everything, all the emotions, the woman should be the one to put it in place, all the everything apart from finance.
I think from the word go, you were trying to talk about clarity, that the 100
it's in
couple
efforts.
It's not in
authority.
Yes. It's not in power. It's in, can we make it work? We have a problem. We have responsibilities. Bring in your energy. Okay, it's an energy.
No, these people think that the woman should give 100% energy to make it work, while the man brings just the money. Because this school of thought feels that if the woman brings everything, like all the energy, all the morals, all the mental work and everything, emotions intact, marriage is going to work with or without the man's effort. And I'm like, no. Also understand that this woman has emotions. Also try to attend to the woman's emotions. Also get training. And when you call trainings on maybe singles come together, they think that it's unnecessary. It's not necessary for the men to be there. Teach the women on the efforts that they need to put in place for marriage to work. Is the woman. If the marriage is not successful, she's a bad woman. So they have this. I think what Esorin is saying is perfect. We all bring 100% effort to see that the marriage works.
And not in
authority.
We're
not measuring up.
No, because the man is always the man. I think at this juncture we take and try to see into your heart what you're saying, what you think of the topic, and maybe some of the frustrations that we think we can place on the table, and try to read them out. And dear people, if I'm unable to read your message, it's for two things: first, time constraint, or maybe the use of some obnoxious, obscene languages, which is not very appropriate for it to be read on air. This one says, this is a very complex topic, Mabel, but it's definitely a common theme in many women's life. There are a few different theories about why successful women may have trouble finding success in their personal lives. Some believe it's because they are so focused on their careers that they don't make time for relationships. Others think it's because they have a hard time balancing their professional and personal lives. Whatever the reason, is definitely something that a lot of women face. I am so enjoying the guest speakers on the set. My regards to the blue and the orange. Their names are Ms. Etherin and Mrs. Mabel, respectively. Thank you. Please do us justice by signing your message so that we give you a shout out. And just to let you people know that it's still Women's Month. We are celebrating women throughout last this week, and maybe the week after this one, we're going to be celebrating women this month. And you can also use this as a chance to, give a shout out to the women who have been very industrious and very impactful in your life. This one says, I am so loving the program. What a wonderful Monday, writing from the hills of Muya. I wonder if Muya has a hill. Thank you. This one says, good evening, Mabel. You all are looking very dazzling in the studio. I love this topic and the way you are hammering, you want to say. Thank you. Women prioritize their career over their personal life. I am Musonji Eli from mile 16. Thank you, Elizo from mile 16. My regards to your family. This one said they have trouble finding a supportive partner. Most successful women that I have come across have trouble finding a successful or a supportive partner because of self-esteem issues, just like the therapist has mentioned. Thank you for this timely topic. I am facing a similar thing but can't say much because my husband and I are watching. Was that why you did not sign your message? Let's talk about this. Was that why you did not sign your message? No, we are getting
understand.
Your husband is watching. Make sure that you don't change your channel. Make sure that your husband is steadfast to this TV. Please, let us steal a moment to talk on what she's saying. And because they don't have a supportive partner. And it's something she's facing.
Yeah.
I think you all have elaborated and stretched the point, but let us...
Okay, Mabel, let me say this. Supportive in different ways. I have handled a very critical case. This one was critical and was a little difficult for me. Something I thought was very simple. What happened? The man and the girl, they are about to get married. And the girl now says, okay, as we get married, I'm coming in with a washing machine. I'm coming in with my blenders and everything. This girl is an engineer, a technician, something. And now the guy says, no, we have agreed that nobody will live with us for now. It's just the two of us. You cannot start by using a washing machine. And she's like, why? I'm so busy. I do a lot of work. I will not have time to sit 2 hours to do laundry with my hands. And they came to therapy. So his problem, I wanted to know, why are you refusing the washing machine? He says it's going to make her lazy. And even my nose, what if tomorrow there is no electricity? Let her first of all begin with washing with her hands, dry cleaning the floor, because she needed a vacuum cleaner to clean the floor. And I'm like, but this is somebody, there can also always be alternatives. 3 hours that she will use in doing laundry, she will use it on her phone and work a million. Why not let her get the machine? Let the machine do the work. And she will do this and still have change. If the machine falls, she's a technician, she can feel it. If she's not a technician, they can use manual. You can pay somebody. She can still pay from her money. She already acknowledges that this is my job as a woman, as an African woman. I acknowledge I'm supposed to do the cleaning. She's not saying that he should help her. But now, I want to get this technology to assist me, still do it and still strive in my career. And he has a problem because in his mind, the mindset of an African woman is, no, of an African man, a good wife should sit and do laundry. And I remember having episodes with my people on this severally. And I told them, if you people want to take the West thing, because they were like, people are just copying from the West. I said, but you have copied from the West by allowing your wife to start to work. If you want us to do it the way our mothers were doing it, they go to the farm, they come back, they prepare food, they wash the children. That is it. So if you want us to do it the way the Western world does it, all of us spend 8 hours at work. And then when we leave work, I stop in the market to buy food stuff. I cannot come and go to the grinding stone to do it. Let me use the blender. So support is not only like giving money. It's permitting this woman, yes, you could be the one to assist her. You people cook. We have husbands.
That maybe the both of us have been for this meeting and we are just coming.
We are coming. Let's stop somewhere and eat.
Kitchen. Okay, while she is slicing or chopping tomatoes, you're then
doing something.
Tomato. It doesn't
Onion.
make you less
of a man. That is it. So support is. Then my issue is I'm addressing these men who think that using washing machine, using the blender means your wife is lazy, especially when she is a career woman. Please, because I've seen many of such cases. in counseling sessions, and it's so terrible. What I think is, if we are copying from the West that this woman should work, let's copy it. Support by saying, okay, let me get you a blender, or buy the blender. It's okay for you to use it. It's okay for you to use the microwave to warm food, because when both come, we are tired. At times, let's stop even at the roadside and eat, then go and sleep.
Good. We get on to another worry. This one says, Mabel. How many times did I call you?
Which of the Mabel?
Please let me count, or let us count. But I think it should be 4. We called 4 things. I am writing from Mamfe. The women have difficulties striving in their marriages because they have difficulties balancing their career and personal life. Okay, thank you so much. This one says, good day, good evening, Madam the Moderator. Nice program you have there. I just stumbled on this and I was so drawn by it. A lot of women experience societal pressure to conform to traditional gender roles. My name is Martinin Zonlak from where? Please, I didn't get that word. Thank you. Anyways, Martinez, they have a societal pressure to conform to traditional gender roles. What does that mean?
Okay, by traditional gender roles, we have what if we want to say this is a woman, this is a wife. There are certain responsibilities that are tied to this woman. So these are the gender roles. Normally, we have the male and the female gender. Of course, the male gender, we say that the men are the ones bringing in the money. They split the wood. They do every other hard thing that a woman cannot do, and then the woman cleans the house, cleans the dishes, cook, take care of the kids. That is what we call traditional gender roles. So these are
so when you don't do them, you're thought to be a bad wife.
When you don't do them, you're thought to be a bad wife. And the sad thing about it is that these gender roles are not even being placed by some husbands. Trust me, they are being placed by the society.
Why do you wash pants?
Yes. So you can really be in a good place with your husband, whereby he understands that you both work. You just come back. I've seen a lot of couples eating out, and I don't think it's a problem. But then when someone just say, "Hey, I saw you and your wife eating at TFC," so she cannot cook, and then you start finding, you be like, "No, it's okay, we are working." I'm like, and so you see, society plays.
And so she has to kill herself.
Society gives us these rules, and that is what we are just victims. We are just victims. We live by. Industrial revolution has changed a lot of things. So it changed not just the Western world, because we copy a lot. We are copycats. So it changed the Western way, and then it has come to Africa. And then these roles have been changed. Normally, we're not supposed to be working, but thanks to industrial revolution, today we are working. Today we have an opportunity to choose the man we want. We can go to hit.
It never used to be like that.
It never used to be like that. So
you go for the man that they give you.
So thanks to industrial revolution, that's why you're a good professional. You can talk, good journalist, because of industrial revolution. We are here.
Let's get some other reasons that some of you are advancing. This one says, hello, the women in the studio are stunning. Please, can I have the one who is not married? Oh my goodness.
Please pass through me.
Wow. The one who is not married, please, what do you do? Are you a gender advocate? Are you a he or she? And also, are you the kind of one who say, we were both for a 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. service and go and cook? Okay, are you that kind? I want to scrutinize you very well.
You pass through me.
You have just made light up the studio room with that very hilarious comment. This one says, women are used to being the one in control, especially women in high positions, and it's difficult to share power.
Yes, it's difficult to share power.
Imagine you're always in the office and throwing others here.
You just gave an example. Please, it depends on how you see this power and authority. Are you bringing that power home to the bedroom? Are you bringing it to your parlor in front of your children? Seriously? Please know how to exercise the power. Yeah, we all as career women, we definitely have power, but we know the limits. We know where our powers end.
You can be a career woman, but you don't have as much power
as in authority.
Who leads a particular position in a constructive organization?
Maybe you still need to define the jurisdiction. Is that the right word of your power, of your authority? You are the DO, the SDO as a female.
I think they are
You are
the addiction.
yes. You are the SDO of Fako, and you are a lady. Please, when you come to that home,
You are the
you are the wife. Oh,
And you remove
this
the
is
wife.
very clear. For us to have a happy marriage, I know some women are no. Please, except that you don't want to get married. There's more to this marriage thing that we're talking about.
I stumbled on a post by one very popular relationship therapist who's just like Yvette, is it Yvette in Bamenda?
Yes, I've seen something.
Yes, so she wrote that when God was saying marriage is a union between a man and a woman, God did not say between a governor and this, or
Man.
a delegate and this. It's man
Man
woman.
and
So
woman.
your titles should be away from
All the
whole thing.
titles. I remember our home had issues because my father, being a military, we want to shout at times. You hear mommy say, we are not your elements. You hear? It didn't. Now I'm understanding.
Why?
That authority came
Yes.
home, which it was supposed to end somewhere.
Yes.
Then take the coat of a father, the coat of a husband, that of a wife, and bring. I think here we have different roles, like we're talking about gender roles.
Yes,
We have
flexible
different roles.
switch.
Yes, just switch, and it's going to help you.
And it's hardly really, it's not as easy as we
Sure.
say it. You know, sometimes when we are in this position, it gets to our heads, it changes even psychologically. It affects us, it affects even the way you walk. You know, if they say you are the president today, I bet you
Now walk-
you walk in a certain way. You realize that even let me not go to the president, the first lady. There's a certain way you will walk. The only reason why you will maybe see your husband in a certain way because he is the president. There is still that, you still know that there is still that. But if you
Are the
are the president, there's a certain way. I mean, psychological. We should not talk as if it's not real. I don't want us to have this kind of fictional mental picture or something that is not real. But the real life is this: if
It's difficult.
you get married to somebody that maybe you're working even in the same space, or not even in the same space, you have a kind of higher authority. It plays a lot with your psychology. It plays a lot with your response to society. Because the truth of the matter is this: you might really just carry this. You might not state the jurisdictions differently, but you might just come and say, maybe just shout at your husband someday. You might feel like it's maybe a secretary something. So you have to be very intentional.
Okay,
Esther,
you have to be
intentional,
very intentional.
conscious, and educate yourself over and over that this thing has to have limits.
Okay, let's stumble on a few reasons. So this one says they don't want to give up their independence. That is why some successful women would find it difficult to even have marriages, talk less of staying in those marriages. Make it make sense.
That they don't want to give up
Their independence.
independence of
This one is from Klo Tengen from Bamenda.
addressing the women not wanting to give their independence. This depends, like we said, it depends on an individual, and Esarin ended up by saying that you need to be very intentional, you need to be very conscious of the fact that this is it, this is the reality. You know, there is the ideal self and then there is the real self, so you need to work on that balance. Or you're saying, okay, this is the real me outside, but now the ideal marriage is supposed to be like this. Be intentional about it working and strive for it to work. That is if you cherish marriage,
That's
if you want it to work. Because some people, most of them say, I need to take shit, I need to take rubbish, you're my fool, and every day it's affecting your mental health. When I was talking here during Women's Day, I was saying that, are you sure that the action you're doing, when you sit back and evaluate in that corner alone, do you feel proud of it? Because most often these ladies do this to prove to their friends and to prove to people that I'm a strong man, a tough woman. But in the real sense of it, they are regretting. They want that marriage to be, they have the ideal picture of how they want the marriage to work. So you intentionally have to work towards it. We know we are in the Women's Month where we are talking about investing in women, and that's why this problem is coming up. Women that have been invested upon, or who did their self-investment and have progressed, they have accelerated to a certain level, they tend to face these difficulties. Are we saying that there's no solution? There is a way out.
Okay.
Be intentional.
Loretta Abbas says most of these women, I must tell you people in the studio, by the way, beautiful program, they feel like they have to choose between having a family and having a career. Yeah.
Yes, most feel that there are many things can make you feel like that. Your spouse, can make you feel like that. Your in-laws can make you feel like that. Even your colleagues. Yeah. So you just need to balance it up. Sari said something that also I learned. Take your spouse along. When you get informed of a certain concept, please do not neglect it. What are you discussing about? He should be your best friend. You can discuss it casually. You are passing an information. Take him along. Take his level of his mentality. Don't grow alone, so that you don't get to, because when you grow to a certain level, your choices, you become selective. Your choices will be determined by what you know. And so if he doesn't know that much, it's going to be problematic. So I think grow together. I'm not saying you should go to school, but a simple concept like this. Daddy, what do you think? On a very relaxed mode, what do you think about this? You get his points, you get his opinions, and you get to know how to bring your own. And then people come to an agreement. That's how you build it on a daily basis.
All right, thank you so much. Now, let us talk to the men, because some women are struggling to employ all of these things, and they are really trying their best, but there is a hook somewhere, because these men, their mentality and their esteem issues and all of this. How do we help these men snap out of this? There are women who have really put in the work. They have struggled to make this man understand that this is me, beside being the delegate, or beside being, I am this submissive wife and I'm ready to be that. But the men are still not yielding to the signals that these women are giving for submission and modesty. So to these men who are, head scattered and they are ahead of their feelings and all of that, what should we tell them? What should they note?
Okay, I want to say that for the men, those watching right now, I want you to know that it is you and your wife against the world. It is not you fighting her. It is you two fighting the world. In other words, if she's successful, you are successful. If she is thriving, you are thriving. Because at the end of the day, when anybody wants to call her, they'll say Mrs. and your name will be there. So to me, it's a plus for the man. And also, I want to say that for the men, try to be appreciative sometimes. If the woman is doing something great, maybe a pat on the back, maybe just some sweet words will make her be like, just give you maybe a sweet hug that day, and then it changes the whole scenario of the house, the whole atmosphere. So for the men, please try to be appreciative. If your wife is doing something interesting, if she's doing something good, if she's working, taking care of the kids and all of that, if there's a way you can support. I'm not saying that we should do the Western in the Western world, they support differently. Because in the Western world, like I used to talk with my friend, she says that her child, when she is home, the husband is at work. There are certain days that the husband is taking care of the kid and she is at work. That's what I think most people want to copy. Because we talk with these our people abroad every time, and then when they tell us how they are running their homes with their husbands, we want to copy
and paste.
Yes, and we are in Africa. Africa will remain Africa, and these are our rules. They are the ones that is guiding us not to explode. And if that's the case, if your husband is supporting you, not maybe necessarily household choices, like I'm talking to the man now, you must not help your wife in household choices, but if you have a means to, please do. It is very important. Don't just stay there and you're watching TV, she's struggling, she gets overwhelmed. At least, even if you can't do it, because I understand that we come from different backgrounds, different households. To some men, it's an abomination for a man to do household choices. And we cannot, no matter how you try to change their mind, they cannot change, and they will not even want to change, because change starts with you accepting to change. And maybe they don't want to change, but you can also still do something. Say appreciative words to her, encourage her. Hey baby, oof, I love what you're doing, like you're making me proud. Just say those words to her, and
there is no way that she's going to be.
There's no way.
And don't try to think that every suggestion she brings is because of the academic heights that she has. Sometimes she just wants to communicate a point and find a meeting ground for a settlement. But they don't attend that over go school over there. So when you do that, then her human part would want to rebel. Sometimes it's just very impulsive. When you start saying that, she gets unruly, and though it's not a justification, but it happens quite a lot. Because you too, maybe you are academic shaming her somehow, and she wants to get a little bit resistant. So quite a lot of work to be done. Let's look at the struggle part of it. Marriages are struggling. Aside even the successful women struggling in their marriage, how do we get to do the simplest of things and to endeavor that marriages have this peace that it deserves? This is not holistic. We are not singling out the successful from the non-successful. How can marriages just be success? How can they just struggle for success? How?
Okay, if you want your marriage to work, please be intentional about it. And being intentional envelopes everything. First of all, identify that I want it to work, and it's a two people thing, not one person. If you both agree, when people come for counseling and like, you want too much, at the end of the night, do you want this to work or do you want to separate? No, don't hurry. Please take your time. Take a deep breath before you respond. Do you want it to work? The two of you, if the answer is yes, it's a sincere yes, then now, what can we do for it to work? What have we been doing that doesn't work? And you're being sincere. Forget about the blame game. When you're identifying that maybe you do this which is wrong, also identify what you did that was wrong. Because like we said, an action reaction. I did this and you did this. So when you have somebody telling you that you did this that was wrong, and the person acknowledging that I also did this that was wrong, you will take it differently than when I'm only saying, Esarin, you are wrong. Esarin, you did this, of which I knew deep in me that the way I responded or the way I reacted to that thing was also wrong. You will not take it, you will want to be pointing my own wrong, and it doesn't solve it. So you identify what you have been doing that was not working. Identify what your partner has been doing that was not working, and identify what you think you people cannot do to make it work. That is after accepting that you want it to work. So if you do this and you agree on it, it's going to work, because normally every day there are going to be challenges, and that's why we are out on building resilient relationships, meaning bouncing back, because there will be challenges, but you need to stand up, you need to bounce back, you need to come back to that honeymoon stage. So how do you do it? We cannot say a trouble-free marriage. No, those things come.
I was about to ask that. Must every marriage struggle, every relationship struggle?
All right. There is actually a place, I'll call it fight. Struggle, petite fight, and all of that. I'll call it, there's a place of that in a relationship. And usually we feel that normally we know that when people struggle, when there is this disagreement, they get to agree, there is a place for fight in marriage. And it's very important. Yeah. It is when you are in a relationship with somebody and there is no fight. When we talk about
knowing somebody,
when we talk about compatibility, it's in those fights, and then you set them as
is there no fight?
You cannot be. That's what I'm saying. That it is. Some people feel that maybe I'm bickering. Maybe
we hear some men of God. I would not want to call names. I've been with my wife for 14 years, 17 years. I will never forget.
They have bicker. There's been bickering.
Are you sure?
There have been petite fights.
When they say don't fight, maybe they should have a physical fight. I will understand.
No, I mean exchange.
They should. I would say that now. No matter how
conflict of ideas.
No matter how humble.
It's difficult.
No matter how humble. No matter how submissive somebody is. No matter there is bicker in relationship. Yes. There is petty fight, and it is very necessary. It's in these fights that we see compatibility.
But do you agree that couple could go 14 years? 7 years without anything?
No, it's not possible.
It's not possible. We're talking about physical. That's not it. It's just simple.
You doing something.
Maybe there should be conflict on a daily basis.
And inducing conflict.
And the truth of the matter is this: there's even an important aspect of fight in that relationship.
And
it's very important, even because it makes you know this person's difference. And you're different, because how can you be in a relationship? You're always like this. You're always like this. It means you're not expressing
even women, even when there is nothing.
I don't even know what to say.
Women sometimes induce this fight because they know that they want to be a little bit petty. They want to chat.
You feel neglected.
After a fight, there is this
reconciliation.
It's so beautiful. Honeymoon.
Yes, after a fight. So sometimes, after a long time, let's just pick on something, and pamper each other again, and just so.
Never, even if you don't pick,
maybe I'm thinking. I want to think that The fight he mentioned, it's something else. It's maybe physical fight.
No.
was very explicit.
No, then they should stop
Please,
lying sometimes.
they
in
should
this
stop
topic.
lying.
They lie a lot.
I'm really tempted to call the man of God.
No, don't
No,
call,
don't.
don't call, don't call.
Please, the issue is there are conflicts. I made a post and got so many reactions. I did this simple statement: life is full of emotions. There is a moment you yourself you don't understand yourself. True or false?
True.
You don't even know why you're feeling the way you're feeling at a particular moment.
mood switch.
Your mood just switched, and then now the other person will just flow with you. Seriously, would I even say what's
For
wrong?
14
And then
years.
just I beg you, safe. That alone is a small fight. Then it will make us to come together and think, but why
Or
were
maybe
you
you're
doing like
angry
that?
and then your partner comes. Why are you angry about this small thing? But to you, it's
That is a-
big deal.
I want to maybe I want to say this categorically, and I'm very intentional in saying this. If you are in a relationship with somebody for close to even a year, 2 years, and then there is
People
no
have never
bickering,
disagreed.
there is no bickering, you've never disagreed. Somebody in that relationship is not being the true self.
Somebody
How
is-
can you not be a true
Um,
self for
y-
that?
No, you
people
pretend.
People pretend. I see there are a lot of people that they might close the doors and
pretend.
cry and tell their friends, and then because they don't want to lose you. Some people are too emotional. Like, we have different coping strategies normally
Yes.
in life. We have the meaning focused coping strategy.
They
We have the
pretend.
problem focused coping and the emotional focus. People choose their own coping strategy that work for them. So in those cases, some people will decide to feel the pain and just be, I don't want him to know because he might leave me, he might feel, but I want you to know, if you're in a relationship for that long and then there is no bickering, no petty fights, somebody is not being true, because compatibility comes when these fights arise, and then there is still, you guys still have
Manage to
manage to come
balance it
together,
to an
balance it,
agreement.
and then have a thriving relationship.
Mhm.
So there is a place for fighting relationship, and I love the reconciliation part. It's so good. It's so nice.
It's
Yeah.
so good. So, for some people who may be a little bit low, not at their best, feeling and wondering why are the fights? Why should we even fight? Can it not just be, blooming and all glowing, the butterflies in the belly?
Maybe when
Some
you are with
people
your
want to
mother,
get
don't you
married.
fight?
Of course.
With your sibling,
That's
don't
one
you
of the
fight?
reasons why some people want to get married, because in a relationship you get to see once a while and you feel like eating each other like a piece of cake.
I know.
And when you start living together, that's what it's in the day. So they are fights.
They are.
Appearance, not really appearance versus reality. Now reality gets to dawn on you even more intensely. So some people get to wonder why they should be fighting in a relationship, two hearts beating together.
They
and
should. I did a research. Out of every 100 marriages, 90 of them desired they were divorced after 2 months of marriage. So that small 10% is just after that 2 months they must have experienced something. I mean, to the level of divorce, and I've seen it. It happens to people. At some point, you're like, am I the one who really made this choice? Why did I even take this man or this woman over this other person? For one reason, you just sleep in the night and the way the person snores, you sleep and you just go the way the person will twist the toilet roll. At the level of even toothpaste, people divorce because of the usage of toothpaste. Press it from here, don't press it from here. Cut the toilet roll and you don't cut it from here. You don't flush the toilet well. The sink has done this and toothpaste on the, and then you claim there's no fight. No, they do exist. Because you get to live with somebody in the house and the person came from a very different background. The person has a different personality. Even with your siblings, people do fight, right? With your parents, people do have little fights. So it's okay for those fights to come. But now, how do you resolve? And that's why one of the main lessons during premarital counseling will be conflict resolutions. How do you resolve this? How do you manage your problems when it comes? Because it will eventually come. But now when it comes, you solve it, and then there's a honeymoon that comes after that.
Our parents not go for all this premarital
Yeah.
whatsoever, but it works just fine. Well,
And
I
as
wish
long
we
as
live in a
long
different world.
as long as they are two individual people, agreement has to be something that they decide on. As long as you are, maybe I am Estherine, when it comes to an opinion, we'll have different opinions. So there is no relationship, absolutely no one, that they will just have one mind. Like they have the same, there might be maybe a different mind, and then they decide on what to do.
and they decide on what to do. It is on that note that we are going to be concluding the program. Yes, I have seen some of your messages. Some of you are threatening me. Maybe I read my own. Read my own. I'm sorry. I wish I had much time in my hands. I would have read yours. I've seen one other one there. Won't you read my message? He keeps sending and sending and sending. I'm sorry. Those are some of the bad days where we don't get to take all the messages because it didn't come quite on time. But just to assure you that in our subsequent program, yours is going to feature first. It is at this point where we are going to be building the program goodbye, but of course, it's always very prudent that we get to hear from our speakers, our resource speakers, who have taken their time to be here to give us a summary of the topic and the way forward while kissing the program goodbye. So Mrs. Mabel Otonga, maybe you want to start off by saying something.
Okay, as we leave, I encourage every woman to invest in yourself. Do not be afraid to make progress because of the challenges that some of your friends, some of us face while being successful and being married. Please, there's a lot of the beautiful side of it where you get to work your own money. So please invest in yourself. Hey, you guys, invest in your woman and be supportive. Thank you.
Thank you. Be supportive. From now I'm going to write a book after here on this conflict resolution and why on successful women are unsuccessful in their marriages. I can literally write a book. The knowledge here has been sporadic. Miss Etherine, we have heard quite a good number of things from you, and I am startled that we have a treasure like this outside the camera. So you are promising my guests and I that you're going to be showing your beautiful face as you have time in your hands. I know it's not easy being an associate lecturer at the University of Goya. You get to shuttle between so many things, but you always find time for us. What is your conclusive words while promising that you always come? This is your house.
I'm so delighted to be here, and hopefully I would love to be here most times. Okay, I want to say that to the women, it is very good to have something doing, and I encourage every young lady, every married woman that is doing something that is setting the pace for people to follow. You're doing great. I really do appreciate your effort. I appreciate everything you're doing, and I want to say in all of that you do, please carry your husbands along, and please be watchful of the kind of things you say to them. And I know you want to hurt them with those words. Please be kind with those words. And for the men, I want to also say that support your wives, support these women. All they need is your support sometimes. Just a pat on the back, just some kind words, not necessarily doing much. And I also want to talk to the society, which is in the social media in-laws and the in-laws. I want to say, please, if a woman is doing something great, just appreciate. If you can't even appreciate, just keep quiet. They should figure out themselves. Please, silence is very important. If you don't have anything positive, don't break what you can fix. Thank you.
Thank you. That was quite powerful. And in case you're waiting for me to give a conclusive remark, I'm sorry. I'm going to bust your bubble because they have said everything I want to say. They just came and snapped the little material. But I think marriage or every relationship is not a walk in the park. It comes with deliberate intentions to know how to fix it and knowledge. We should never forget and neglect the place of knowledge. Most people just think the only thing there is to marriage is we coming together, for intercourse, making out, bearing babies, and the fruits that comes with it. But you need marriage, you need knowledge to be able to keep that union very fierce and ongoing. So go for knowledge. It could be formal, it could be informal, it could be you educating your partner on something you know, and also trust your bedroom. Know that your bedroom also plays a factor, an important factor. Go there, your pillow time, you did this, I take blame, you take blame for it, and I did it and I'm taking blame for it, and how do we move past this? And as much as you can, try not to give an allowance for society to come in. Those in-laws called society, maybe the media, the
family,
the actual in-laws,
or the actual in-laws, they could break, and while you're giving them that opportunity to break, they will leave you to fix it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets really cumbersome. It's easy to break, but fixing can take almost forever. So we are wishing that every marriage which is at the brink of collapsing, By virtue of reason of this program, there's going to be some reinstatements and your hearts are going to be healed. Just for you to know that the rebroadcast is going to be live and direct at 3 a.m. If you feel the need to catch up with the program, why not? If you want to learn, why not? And there's going to be a part B of this program. I've seen a lot of requests online and we're going to be meeting your expectations. The part B is going to come in a different form where you're still going to learn. If you have a need to reach out to any of the counselors, reach out to the numbers that you have on your TV screens or you've had on your TV screens, and you're going to be talking to the moderator who is going to be linking you to their counselors with small bribe. No, I'm just kidding. All right, you have a beautiful evening ahead, and see you tomorrow. And always make sure to stay glued to other programs that are going to be brought to you by High Television. And of course, up next is High Prime with Larry Tingene. Good night.